Hello everyone and welcome to another craft video with the Massachusetts Regional Library. I'm Miss Stephanie, one of the children's librarians, and today I'd like to share with you this month's craft, which is a beaver card. And these beaver cards are besides being super cute, are great because you can use them for different things. If you're throwing a little get together with friends, you could put them on the table for a name card, or if you just wanted to write a note, you could give it to a friend and they open it up, and there you go. So what you're going to need for these is you're going to pick up a pack at your local Massachusetts Regional Library branch, and it's going to have the instructions how to make a beaver card, and a brown piece of cardstock and a white piece of cardstock. And what you're going to need at home is several things. You'll need a ruler, a pencil, glue stick, scissors, and crayons and markers. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so to get started, we're going to get out our brown and our white piece of cardstock. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fold each of these pieces in half lengthwise. So I'm going to take this and we're going to line it up so it's even. And then press it down. And then make sure the crease is well. Set that aside, and we'll do the same thing for the brown cardstock. And the brown cardstock is a little thicker, so it may be a little trickier to fold. But I know you guys can do it. So then crease it really well. Then unfold it, and we're going to cut down the center of both pieces of paper. So let me go ahead and do that now. Okay, and put that aside. Keep this one out for now. And then we're going to do the same thing with the white. A little tricky, but there we go. Okay, set this aside as well. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to trim this white piece of paper. And if you want, I'm not going to write a note now, but if you want to write a note on your thing after we do this next step, that would be a great time to do it. But first we're going to trim it because see, right now it's about the same size, and we want to make this a little smaller so it will fit in the inside of the card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to move the brown one out of the way for a few minutes. And then I'm going to cut off 1/2 inch off the edge. So I'm going to measure, take my pencil, put a mark right where it's 1/2 inch, and then draw a line. That runs up and down. And then I'm going to measure 1 inch off the end to trim the top off a little bit. So let's see. And line my ruler up, mark the 1, and then do a line. All right, and oh, that wasn't quite dark enough, so let me make sure, because I want to make sure it's a straight line. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and trim the edges of the white paper real quick. So get rid of that and trim this end off. All right, so now we're ready to put this inside our brown cardstock. So what we're going to do is I am going to put some glue. Use a glue stick, or you can use Elmer's glue as well. And I'm just going to put a lot right here. And then take it over to the brown. Then kind of center it a little bit. Put it a little lower. And then press it down really well. Okay, so once I have that in there, I'm going to show you what to make the beaver tails and the other body parts of it. So we'll set this aside, and I've already drawn what you need to put on here, or you can make another one. Like I drew some eyes and some beaver teeth, and then on the brown cardstock I drew a beaver tail, a nose, and some ears for it. So let me go ahead and cut these out real quick. So I'm going to speed things up just a little bit. So we're going to pause real quick, and then once I'm done, everything will be cut out. Okay, so I finished cutting out all the beaver parts, and then what I'm going to do first is we're going to glue on the ears. So we're going to get that piece of paper that you just did, and we're going to glue the ears to this side of the card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my glue stick and glue the ears. Put a little bit back here, but we want them to stick out, so I'm just going to have them right there. And then I'm going to do the other one. And as I mentioned a little earlier, this would be a great time to write your note or your invitation before we fold it, because it will be a lot easier to do now. And then once we've glued the ears, we're going to fold this into 3 pieces. And this can get a little tricky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly fold this right here and this over. And then I'm going to press it down. Like this. Alright, and also I noticed I need to move my beaver ears down a little bit because I made a mistake. So fortunately the glue hasn't dried yet. So I'm just going to move them down real quick. And then fold it over. It won't stay. I'll have to put a little more glue on it. Hold on one second, guys. Sometimes you just have to reapply the glue. There we go. And then we're going to fold it over like this, and we're going to add the beaver's face now. So let me put some glue on the eyes, nose, and teeth. I'm going to let the teeth stick out a little bit. And sometimes you have to fold it again or crease it really well to not make it pop up so much. So here's the teeth. Let me get the nose. Get his little beaver nose and get his eyes. There's one eye. Press it down. And here's the other. All right. And then we're going to flip it over to add the tail. And I just did one side. I just decorated one side of my beaver tail with marker, but you can decorate both as well. And we're going to put just a tiny crease in the bottom of this tail. And what we're going to do is like maybe, like if we get our ruler back out, just a little bit, maybe about 1/4 of an inch. So right about here, I'm going to make a little crease. All right. And then I'm going to glue it to the middle of the card so you can see it stick up a bit from the head. So let me apply some glue. Press it down. And then hold it there for a minute. And boom, the tail pops out and you now have a cute little beaver card. And the best thing that I like about this craft is that you can do a lot of different other animals as well, including a bird. So like I just did the same folding pattern, like I folded it, and then I also like just made a beak and some eyes and feathers. So you can just use your imagination, and whatever animal, creature, alien, monster you can come up with, you can come up with some really cool cards. And then when you're ready, you just fold it up and then give it to your friend or family member. So, and that is our beaver cards. All right, I hope that you enjoyed making those beaver cards today. And before we go, I just wanted to share a couple books about beavers and some other members in their rodent family. The first is called The Beaver's Lodge, Building with Leftovers by Aaron Reingold. And this is a great book for just like basic information about the beaver. I chose this one because it has really nice pictures, just like where they live. There's like how they construct their homes, which are called dams. And just here's a picture of their babies, and it's just great because it just shares a lot of interesting facts about them and like how they use, not only do they chew down trees, but they use like leftovers, like little branches or stuff that is in the forest that we might not think of being as useful to building things, but the beavers find a use for it. So, like I said, great overall guide about beavers. And then I liked this one a lot. This one is called Rodent Rascals and by Roxy Monroe. And this is cool because it looks kind of simple, but it actually gives a sketches of rodents, like how they're real size in real life. Like for example, here is a chipmunk and it's drawn the exact same size as it is, and there's over 20 different rodents in here, and like we have different ones, and here are our beaver friends, and provide some information. And look how big they are. They're actually the biggest rodent in North America, and it talks about how they can stay underwater for 15 minutes, but although beavers are really big, they are not the biggest rodent. And I learned some very interesting things about this next one, because this is just the foot of it. When we turn the page, the capybara, and this is the largest rodent in the world that lives in South America, and it can even be kept as a pet. And this is a really interesting fact. It can be used as a seeing eye guide. So, and look how big its head is. It's just really huge. So this is a fun book just to look through and just learn lots of little facts about a lot of different little rodents or big rodents. So thank you again for joining me today. I look forward to sharing another craft with you soon. Have a good day. Bye.